Should I be seeing a picture or do I need to refresh it? Oh, there it is.
I did a refresh. It still shows it offline. Oh, never mind. There it goes. Just so you know,
there we
you have the Gaheris thing on the bottom.
I guess we're not on Gaheris anymore. Whoops.
Okay, Ira, I have made you the driver.
I'll drive. We ready to go?
Yeah, let's just hold on for 1 second. So we are now live, is that right, Ian?
That's correct. I can see it too.
Show them how to
Keili.
West.
Yeah, I'm actually getting some feedback from Keili. I'm not sure why. Okay, I just wanted to say welcome to Dark Age of Camelot podcast, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And we're going to be driving people around. Well, that's pretty rude. Okay, tell me when I need to talk to people. Okay, so let's start by getting the quest. We're going to just go ahead and get the glass quest.
There's 3 quests that you get from Captain Chris here. He gives you another one at 50, but you don't need it. But there's 3 quests that you need.
You may already have them or still have them.
Okay, everybody, stick up.
Oh my gosh, my pending quests are full, so I have to empty some.
I mean, I still need a group on Endomorphs.
Alright, here we go.
Ira, can you go ahead and invite Kray? K-H-R-A. And then, can you say something? I'll type it in group.
Oh, in game?
Yeah, in game, so she can see there.
He's right here. To the south.
Cool. Thank you.
I sent an invite. There we go.
There he is. Okay. Ooh, it's been a while.
Now
It's kind of fun to do these things.
Over to this tree to pick up the 4th quest. We have to do this one for the Cyclops.
I'm still trying to get rid of quests. Grr.
Alright, just tell me when you're ready.
Oh, keep going. It's okay. I didn't get them. We've already left, so I'll get them the next round. I'm just deciding what I can get rid of.
Okay, kill Gorgon.
I wonder if I'll ever get a piece of the Legion. Do you think I could get rid of that one?
Well, maybe the next time we go down there.
Okay, we'll keep going. Okay, what do you think, Saxona? Should we just start with some of the questions I was going to ask folks? How do you tell how many folks are watching? I'm a total noob to this. Ooh, 25 already. That's very exciting. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. Very cool. Okay, what we were thinking of doing tonight, normally the podcast is the Knights talking about questions that come into the grab bag or things that the community wants to know from the Knights. And this time I thought we would ask the people that we've invited into Vent and the people watching to respond to some of the questions that I kind of have gotten from people asking me things in Vent, from post count, from some of the discussions that go on in the internal forums that are brought in from post count and so on. So I'm going to start with, I made some questions and we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to start with one that's been coming up quite a bit, and we people that RVR a lot have found that sometimes it's hard to get BG leaders, and I was wondering if anybody had any thoughts on what could be done to get people to want to lead battle groups. I know battle groups are huge, but is there anything that you can think of that might incentivize new players to want to be battle group leaders? Yeah, I kind of think, you know, it sometimes it's the timing, sometimes it's when people are brand new, it's hard to get people to follow you, so it's like nobody wants to give somebody new a chance. And I think if the players can give somebody new a chance that steps up and says, hey, I want to give this a shot, I think that's probably something that would lead to more people trying it. As someone who's led battle groups for a long time, you never want to fail, but lots of times you do, and it's really discouraging if you fail and then everybody leaves your PG.
It's a very tricky subject, actually, trying to incentivize something that's going to incentivize somebody particular who's already probably a high realm rank already. It does leave it open to exploit. You know, if you give them extra RPs or you give them extra bonus points or something like that, it's very difficult to manage.
I agree with any kind of incentives people taking advantage of, and that's what makes it so difficult to come up with something that is fair.
there is a way to supplement that as well, as by BG leaders getting nominated, which the devs could then follow on from what you were just saying, give them some sort of I don't know, additional title or something along those lines.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, a title would be great.
Yeah, title, you know, titles, people are very interested in getting titles and stuff, and yet it's not going to upset the apple cart when it comes to getting something extra, right?
And you know,
Could also
even
be a trophy of some sort.
Even recognizing that there's a certain night that is our new BG leader night, so everybody knows that there's going to be somebody trying it out.
Also something else to think about. Sorry, Lovely.
Maybe something like something for their house, some kind of, what someone was just saying about a trophy or a wall plaque or something over the doorway.
Take that another step. Take that another step further. Ego is a big thing in this game. As we already know, there's a lot of people who do like the ego being stroked. There's a possibility of something like a statue or something like that going up in the major cities.
Okay, these.
Exactly, but it's always the same with these sort of things. It needs to be something that people can work for and try and achieve, rather than just being given on a plate. So something like the established BG leaders will have these things initially, but it'll be an incentive for others who may feel they want to get the title, or maybe something like a statue up in the capital city to get involved with, to try and make that step forward.
Sorry, I'm trying to get people doing the class quest at the same time. I think some of those ideas are really good, and I like ideas that don't involve changing the balance in the game. If people can come up with things that folks want, like the trophy, the title, that sort of thing, that's not going to affect the balance in the game, I think those ideas are wonderful. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out why people can't hear everybody. And Kreider, no, we have several people in Vent, and everybody else is their contribution will be typing in the channel. What my thing keeps saying is loading video. Is it going, or does it just do that?
No, it's going.
Yeah, loud and clear on mine.
Reload.
It may be because of the echo when people talk over each other when someone's trying to talk and someone pushes the talk button.
Okay, well, I think we're all right, hopefully. Okay, sorry for the, yeah, I need to refresh this. Sorry for the dead air there. I was just typing in case folks couldn't hear me. Let me refresh this. Oh, there we are. Very cool. Wow, commercials. That's awesome. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about was the Casual Group Finder. We did that video on the Casual Group Finder, and when we tested it out on Pendragon, it seemed to work really well. Now, the fact is we did have the right classes that we needed, and that made it load up perfectly. So I'm wondering if anybody has any input or ideas of what we can do to improve the Casual Group Finder. One idea that came up, I'll just get it started, was when you log in, there's a pop-up screen that says, you know, if you want to join the Casual Group Finder, just because there might be people that don't even know it exists. Any thoughts on that?
A pop-up on start sounds like a good idea. It will attract people's attention. It's easier to click away to get rid of it. For me, the Casual Group Finder doesn't have enough options in it. For example, in HIB groups, I think they'll automatically go as a bard for one of the core classes. But with a bard, you automatically get speed, and speed doesn't always come up when you're on alb or on mid. So a group can be quite gimped because they don't have speed, so the option to have a speed class in there. Also give an option for an all stealther group, something along those lines.
And also, if you recall, friars are just like a non-person to it. Because I was on my friar that night and it didn't like me at all.
I think
But
the
as
basic
far
idea
as
is
the option on startup, I think that could be good.
for me, like I said, I think personally it's a good idea, but it just needs a bit of tweaking.
There we go. We've got some good responses from our viewers here. Make it BG only so that if you're in the BG, you know what to look for. Obi saying the options are not detailed enough, and be able to flag what classes you're looking for. And I think I cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, it wasn't me.
I wish that the code was available for some of the other UIs as well. I like to use Bob's UI, and the code's not available at the same.
Actually, those are all really good ideas. Yeah, I like those ideas. I think one of the main things that makes it not get started is needing those three classes, the healer, the bard, and the sork. Usually in a BG, as much as we would love to have one of those in every single group, there just isn't enough, you know, using albs as an example, there's just not enough alb sorks available to start a BG a group all the time, and that makes it a little difficult. So perhaps you could use different starting classes when it's in a battle group versus when it's a real group as in an 8-man.
I think to sum up what people are saying is the fact that it needs more options available to it.
Yep,
But I
I'm
think
going to
it's a
agree with that.
fantastic idea.
Oh yeah, great
Being
idea.
able to flag what you're looking for.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, you know, it drives me crazy because when I'm doing a BG, I will leave my group, invite 7 other people, and then make that group for them. And when I leave, most of the time the group stays together, and it's just a question of people having an easy way to get into a group. And I think that the Casual Group Finder is really going to make that possible. Once it gets, you know, tweaked to the point where it's working for people. And I really like that idea of it popping up right when you log in for new folks especially. Yeah, that's another good one that Kreider just said, a fill my group button. Maybe if you're in a BG and you wanted to start a group and you weren't worried about the casual group finder, I'm sorry, not the casual group finder, the main class being the Sork, the healer, or the bard, you could just say fill my group. That's great.
Having it more detailed would really help. I mean, if you look at other games with casual group finders, it's literally healer, mage, and a tank or a fighter of DPS. Whereas DAoC has so many more options. You could have a heal warden, you could have a peel warden, you could have a smite cleric, you could have a heal cleric,
And I'm deeply wounded that speed classes are not even on there as something needed. I'm hurt.
Well, especially because they're actually needed.
It's always me, self, Luvly.
I know, right? And I'm watching me on Twitch, and I'm just stuck to Era because I've got like 3 different screens going, and I'm thinking, God, this is just like me in RVR, just glued to somebody, soaking up the realm points.
I was thinking the same thing.
One of the things that we just brought up was incentivizing people to form in league groups. If you've ever led a group, then it's really frustrating when you try to make a group and then after one run, someone's unhappy or someone has to leave for real life stuff, and it's a real big job to build a group nowadays.
Yeah,
and
I
we
agree.
have all had to do that. We have all had to do that. I mean, we've all had some emergency come up, or somebody come over, or something you forgot about. Sometimes it's just not convenient.
The hard thing I think for new players as well is us old timers, when we have a group, if somebody does have to log out, we have pretty much one of everything, so we can go ahead and switch, whereas newer players, they're just starting off with one class, and the group kind of quickly falls apart because they can't call on other people to switch up to different classes in their group.
Just to summarize then, so I think it seems to be general consensus that a pop-up at start will be useful, but more options within the CGF itself.
Perfect. Yep. Okay, so my next question that I had for everybody, this one might be a little more controversial. I actually did a post on post count and took a survey, and the survey was against, but the topic keeps coming up, and that topic is realm timers. For or against, and why?
This is one of my favorite subjects. I think we should stop making realm time as a negative thing and try and make it a positive thing for somebody to stay on a particular realm. For example, the longer you stay on one realm, you get additional percentage realm buff bonus up to a maximum, I don't know, of 20% as an argumentative percentage. But let's make it a positive thing to stay on a realm rather than a negative thing. So realm loyalty rather than anything else.
I don't think you need timers for that, though.
Yeah, exactly, and you wouldn't need timers for that. Then the whole idea of timers is to keep people on a specific realm, and the way to do that is to make it a positive, give them a reason to be loyal to a particular realm.
I don't really have any particular like or dislike for realm timers, mainly because I think that they don't matter to most people. I don't think they would keep someone from actually logging onto another realm, and I think that they should, but to me it would need to be tied into, you can't log into New Frontiers. That would be the deciding factor for me.
I've always been torn on this because for every advantage I see a disadvantage, and then go back and forth all the time. With the realm timers, people usually have bot accounts as well, so you know, anybody that has 2 accounts, they would just log in on the other account and pick a tune that way. So the realm timer probably wouldn't affect that if they didn't have a bot logged in already. The thing that's a little frustrating from an RVR point for realm not having realm timers is when you set up a fight or a battle and you have intel that says, yeah, there's 2 groups inside, and when you break the door down, all of a sudden there's like 6 groups inside because everybody from one realm realizes this is where the fight's going to be, and they switch realms. So it's really frustrating when that happens. But all 3 realms are able to do it, so it's balanced, it's fair, everybody can do it, and honestly, it's, do you want to only fight 2 groups and plow them down, or do you want to have really good fights? I don't know. It's like, that's why I waffle all the time.
And that's why I think loyalty will be the way ahead, because then it's up to them to decide which way they want to go. If you make it a, like I said, after a certain length of time, your realm bonus after 30 days could be 15–20% additional. It will bring some loyalty back to a particular realm.
You know, I think that's a really good point, and it goes back to the reason why I play this game. I don't play it just to get points and things like that. I play this game because I genuinely enjoy playing with the people that I'm playing with. And that's what I think we need to, that would foster if we had some type of encouragement for people to stay with one realm and go through a night.
I tend to agree. I think it's always, you know, nice to have things that are encouraging rather than discouraging, and people always look at realm timers as a punishment. So an incentive is just a much nicer thing to log into, an incentive for staying, and Ira's right, you know, most of us stay where we're at because of the people that we're playing with and stuff. So it might encourage people to stay on a realm and get to know people, more of the social aspect rather than jumping to another realm because that's, you know, that's the stronger realm of the night. I think if you play a realm for a while, you get to know people and you get the bonds and the loyalty and stuff. Right, Keili, it's all about the community, absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, myself, I have a high-ranking mid when I moved to Alb, and then I became an Alb, and I've got decent tunes over here now. But I have tunes in all 3 realms, and it's not out of the question for me to log in on all 3 realms during a day, because I'll be checking the merchants for stuff to buy or to salvage, doing things like that. So I don't want to be closed out of logging in on another realm, but I would rather it not be where I would get a, you know, like a RBR bonus from it.
Well, you know, a interesting thing would be if there was a realm timer in RVR but not on the PvE side. What about that?
See, that's exactly.
I think anything
yes.
that allows PvE so that people can develop their characters and learn how to play their characters should be encouraged.
I agree with that.
How about expanding my original idea as well, not just having RP bonuses, have XP bonuses for being loyal to a particular realm, so that if you do PvE, you're going to get extra bonuses for that as well.
Yeah, I'm really leaning towards what Agro's saying. Just really go for the positive rather than the negative.
Yeah, less stick, more carrot.
Is that a British
Positives
thing?
will affect more people than the negative. I mean, adding a timer to actually matter would be a lot. I mean, if you added a 5-minute timer, it wouldn't really matter. But let's say if you added like a half-hour timer, you got people that play late, like this myself. And let's say if there's 6 groups on HIB and I'm playing HIB, and I'm just not finding anything, and I want to switch to, let's say, mid, so I can get more fights, and I have to wait a half hour, I'll probably just log off. So there's no point adding timers at all at this point in the game.
I agree with you. I think timers would be the wrong way to go right now.
I'm still trying to get this quest. 1 second.
It wouldn't give it to me anymore. Or it wouldn't give it to me.
Yeah, I didn't get it either.
Which I thought was strange, because it could be because my quest journal is probably full on this girl.
Yeah, mine's totally yelling at me.
Well,
so I'm ready. We can move.
This is a group encounter, and we're trying to do it as a BG, so we're having to make sure every group gets full credit.
Are we doing it as a BG? I'm not even in the BG. Maybe that's why I'm not getting it.
Oh, fail.
Really? Oh, I switched girl. I think my
But Luvly,
is
I
just
think
full.
that anything that we can do that encourages folks to get out there, play something new in the PvE world, and learn how to play their tunes would be a really good thing.
Yeah, and I think some of this stuff, like being able to level, so quickly by yourself. I know the population isn't as huge as when some of us started, but the population has been growing, I think. Like I see all kinds of new people out here and stuff, and I think getting, again, more things to people working together, making it more social, where you develop friendships, and that's why you log in and you log into a particular realm. I like all that, the way more positive stuff. Okay, I'm going to switch gears here completely, and I'm going to ask a question about crafting. What do you guys think of crafting the way it is now, and what do you... Oh, I'm just getting shot. What do you think about the crafting the way it is now, and what ideas, if any, would you have to improve it?
Oh, don't get me started on that.
I just did.
But I will. I have multiple LGMs in every craft, and I made my fortune doing crafting. So I do it a lot, and I've talked with folks that do a lot of crafting. We miss the opportunity of having the advantage of the crafting of the masterpiece. Now that basically the type of the quality of the item has gone away, it's made it easier to craft, but it's taken away the exceptional nature of what we do. The other thing that we would love to see is an item that drops that allows player crafted supremacy pots.
Yes.
Oh, I think everybody'd be all over that, doing something with supremacy pots. They're like the #1 thing everybody wants right now.
What about
For me, as somebody who
updated procs?
Can anybody... What about... I was going to say, what about the... do you remember crafted cloaks? Why did we get rid of crafted cloaks? Was there something magnificent about them?
No, that was even before my time, and I've been around for a long time.
I cannot remember, and I actually have at least 2 of them in my vault still on mid. And I remember the night before the change was going to go through, there were people everywhere getting cloaks crafted and spell crafted and everything.
Okay, Top says they only had 1 slot on the cloaks. What do you mean? Like there was only 1 slot that you could put something into?
I think you mean spellcrafting. You only had 1, you can only put 1 stat on it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's no good.
Just like Mid had
just-
robes way back when.
But
Well, I tell you
I
that
love the fact that they went through and they made it to where a single tune can have more than one craft. That was good. But the rest of the crafting nerf absolutely devastated the crafting.
And by crafting nerf, tell me again what you mean by that. The fact that you could get things a different way, or
They took away the need for making masterpiece in order to
oh,
bring the maximum capability of an item.
okay, I remember that. And as someone that was not a fan of standing there trying to get that masterpiece thing, I was really happy. But I think if you were a crafter, that probably would have been not a great thing.
That was
That
some
was
of
our
your
bread and
plat
butter.
going down the drain. Yes.
Do you guys remember when you'd spellcraft stuff and it would blow up?
You still do.
That was
Yeah,
part
but
of
your
the
item
fun.
blew up. Your masterpiece
Yeah.
item that
Oh,
you
yeah,
just spent
that.
like 2 weeks
Yeah.
making, and it blew up too.
Yep. That really sucked.
I'll tell you a change I would like to see, and that is some way for the encumbrance to be changed when you're siege crafting. You know, you pretty much have to log in 2 tunes to be able to siege craft, and or be close to a vault and an NPC or something. Just for the fortified stuff, just because it's so heavy, you become encumbered, then you can't get more supplies, and it just makes me crazy.
Can I add to that?
You can.
The developers do not understand the laws of physics. How can you possibly have a group of materials and you craft something and you become more encumbered than you were before you created the item?
I can't believe we're talking about physics. I would like to see something though where you could give a encumbrance buff that only works in PvE or something, so that you can stand there and just get that siege crafting done. It's one of the reasons that I really don't like making fort rams, is you have to have like a little assembly line going. Although if you have people that are crafting with you, you can do a good assembly line and everybody can make bits and pieces.
I just put them directly into my bank.
My bank is so full of stuff. Where's Larian? We have to complain about bigger vault sizes.
Oh,
Thanks.
but can we for a minute say thank you to the developers that created the bank in the first place?
Yes. Yes. I thought that was pretty amazing when that came out.
Yeah, that makes a world of difference in RVR. It really does.
For me as a non-crafter, and I don't craft apart from siege crafting because I find crafting dull with a capital D-U-L-L. It's awful. I just find the timing is so slow. This could be linked to the realm loyalty that I was talking about earlier on. That, again, the longer you stay loyal to a particular realm, the more of a crafting speed bonus you get. Stick that with a city speed bonus as well, and crafting just becomes that little bit, I'm not saying it has to be overpowered, but just becomes that little bit more bearable.
Well, crafting
So when you're-
is a necessary end for a lot of people, because when you're trying to make your first loot, crafting is a really good way to do it for a lot of people.
I agree, but again, that could be part of the incentive scheme, whereas you give people an incentive to take up the crafting as well and do a bit more crafting, added to the realm loyalty bonus.
And you know, if you made it a speed bonus, again, it's not something that's going to upset the balance of the realms. So, you know, if you log into the same realm all the time and you get your speed bonus there, it's not that big of a deal, but it is to you.
Yep.
You know, something fun that they did a while back that I think is really good was they put that automatic speed bonus in the cities so people can come together and craft together. I think that has generated some real camaraderie.
Because way back when, people gathered at Hagal in Mid, or on the porch there at, I always pronounced it Gina Fast, over there. You know, everybody set up on the porch so you wouldn't get bit by the snakes, and did their crafting right up there on that porch. So having people in Camelot or Jord or something again, I think that's nice. We used to make chat groups and just, you know, talk away.
Oh, please, another request from a non-crafter who might start taking up crafting again. Please, can we make multiple items rather than just clicking the one button for one item at every single moment? A bit like the Guild Wars 2, along the lines of the Guild Wars 2 system, where you can say, right, I want to make 10 of these items. You click one button and then it'll go through and make 10 of it. It'll take the pain out of sitting there reading a book, just waiting for that ding to go before you hit it again.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you know, there have been issues about people having to push that button over and over. And the nice thing, and I also play Guild Wars 2 as well, and the nice thing with that one is that you can do multiple items at once without having to sit there and click. So that would be absolutely fabulous. And you know, now that we've done bigger stacks, that would fit right in with the bigger stacks that we've done of materials and stuff. I kind of wish we could stack supremacy pots too. Hint, hint.
Man, if we could make supremacy pots, that'd just turn my frown upside down.
Well, if it ever came to that, I think they should, you know, a good thing that they could do is make the items where you need maybe more people to go get the items. And again, you're bringing people together, you get the items, and at the end of it, you get a really good reward. Okay, I'm looking at, ooh, what is that thing?
That's an Ifrit.
Don't kill the Ifrit. No.
Especially not that one.
My monitor just went to sleep because I'm stuck to you over here. That's awesome. Okay, next one is PvE Encounters, and this is all three realms. Like, I know I have several Alliance people in here with me, so we're kind of Beth has her realm rank 12 mid, but throughout the game, all three realms, what PvE encounters need, the mobs need updating, the PvE encounters need updating. What do you guys think? What do you like in the game that you think needs some updating? And I'll say for myself, I would like to see all areas give BG credit or area credit the way they do what they did in DF.
I was getting ready to reference my post. Yeah, there are so many of the old encounters that even when we were in the labyrinth, I mean, the labyrinth is just totally unused area now, and that's sad because I spent a lot of time there, and I'm sure most of us did. You can't take your battle group of 40 people down there and try to get the one-time drops for them because they're group credit. And like Lovely had mentioned before, the places that we do our Monday Night Madness at have been done to death.
They have.
You know, something
And it's such a nice area. Go ahead.
Something that was brought up by somebody else, and I thought it was a really good idea, is they do a fantastic job of the annual events, like the spring event, the Hallows event, things like that. But they're all in RVR zones. Could we have something for folks that don't like necessarily to get out there in the RVR, but could go out and do PvE, but have some type of annual event for them?
You know what? I never thought of that. You're absolutely right. All the annual stuff is out in an RVR zone, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And some people just don't like, they're don't feel confident, and they just don't want to get out there and get killed.
I've known people who never ever go to the frontier. They miss the quest rather than go there.
That, you know what, I'm actually writing that one down because that's something I don't think has ever been brought up, or it just didn't even dawn on me. This is why I love brainstorming with people. That didn't even dawn on me that they're all in the frontier.
Well, my guild, I'm a GM of a guild that does both PvE and RVR, and it's really important to us to have these PvE encounters.
Well, I think for about the first 10 years I rarely set foot in RVR just because I was very uncomfortable with doing it, and I loved PvE. I just loved coming around. I loved all the zones. This being my first game ever, when I got on a horse and it just went for miles and miles, it was just mind-blowing. So I think there's a lot of potential in TOA. I think a lot of the dungeons, again, I need you guys that are in the Hib and Mid. You know, our dungeon here, Catacombs, and they are redoing some of them, I believe, but Catacombs is one that I'm thinking of that just never gets used anymore. What are some of the good ones in Hib and Mid?
I never went to Catacombs myself because I never could find my way around in there, but I know a lot of people in all three realms have used that, and there's a lot of good items down there that I know some people still go down and farm, but if they expanded or put different items, maybe easier encounters down there, a lot of people could go down there even to level. It's an awesome leveling place.
You know, another thing that I think that the game does extremely well is the town quests to help you level your tune and be able to learn to play it at the same, which is real important because my folks, when they're always wanting to be PL'd, and I tell them, go out there and do the quests in the cities and learn how to play your tune.
Yeah, that's always been a big beef. Is if you have somebody that that has been power leveled by literally doing what I'm doing right now, sticking to you, and they don't know how to play their tune, it becomes really difficult in RVR. So the more participation that we can get, the more people we can get interested in doing PvE to get themselves leveled, or the BGs and stuff, the better. I'm just going to scroll back here. I think Spindella, Al said Spindella, and was a pretty good dungeon.
Yeah,
Oh, I spent a lot of time there with my Scald. She spent several levels there.
What does Hib have? What's a good Hib dungeon? Who's our Hibs on here? Who are you?
CM, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. And that one could probably do with an update as well, hey?
And the Labyrinth still just...
They are. They're working their way up. I think they're on like Vendo and things like that now.
I think they are.
The Labyrinth still just, if they would just make the credits available to the people that are in the area or in the BG, either one would probably work, but it would just make it from an unused place to a hopping place again like it used to be.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of BG just because, you know, we have such a large number of people that always run with us.
Right.
And when you have to do one group thing at a time, it just becomes a confusing mess because somebody always gets the wrong death blow and then we have to do it again and again. So, you know, they don't have to make the encounters and stuff super hard, just so that people that come will get credit for it, I think would be a great thing. Okay, let's see. We'll move on. I don't know if we have a lot to say about this, but can people think of any improvements for guilds and alliances? And I'll throw my first one out there because I've been after it since the beginning of time, and that is to make alliances bigger.
Amen.
I think one of the things that always, I totally agree with that too, Lovely. I think the one thing when I was a guild master that annoyed me to no end is that the guild commands are so complicated when in my mind they could just be so simple. Just have a little pop-up box and you check yes or no or whatever and that's it, instead of not actually being able to see what you're doing. And to make the guild merit points or bounty points worth something.
Able to do something with them. You know, I never thought of the pop-up menu. I really like that idea because I have the same problem. Getting a guild into the alliance, getting out of an alliance, like guild command a remove leader is not very intuitive, and people don't usually pop in and out of alliances that often. Now when you do mess up, you get the list in front of you that says what your commands are, but I do agree that if it was a pop-up thing, that would just be so much better. That's a really good idea.
Just updating the guild commands would just be a fantastic thing. I know that there's still the bug that if somebody deletes a tune and they don't leave the guild first, it freezes on the guild commands on the guild roster, and you cannot remove them.
Yeah,
So
I've had that happen.
Simple things like that.
And I see Modern came up with something saying you should get a 15% realm point bonus for being in an alliance of over 10 guilds. I'm scrolling back here. More user-friendly guild interface. That's what you said. I totally agree with that. I never thought of that, making it a pop-up window. That would be awesome. You guys have such good ideas. I'm looking through all of these ideas that you guys are typing out here. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, for me, I'm torn with the size of guilds too, because I know a lot of, oh, somebody's bot went link dead. I lost all my buffs. A lot of people need guilds for claiming. What's that?
It was mine. Let's go back and pick up my bot.
Oh, I was just going to buffer right quick.
Oh, it's fine. I'm not doing anything anyway. I know. I just don't want to die. I don't want to die. Guild size, you know, I'm kind of torn because people are very loyal to their guilds. So, you know, even if your guild kind of deteriorates and you don't have a lot of people, that tag over your head is so important to people. And, you know, I've always said I'm going to be the last person in this guild. If it ever came to it, I would be turning out the lights. But at the same time, you're looking again at that social aspect. The social aspect of having people around you to play with and that you can talk to in either guild chat or alliance chat or whatever. You want to have that social interaction. That's why it's an MMO. And then we need lots of guilds for claiming. So, you know, it's back and forth, back and forth.
You might Tori and make sure it's full. I notice mine's real full.
I think one of the problems that we're going to face with trying to incentivize people to stay in one realm, join an alliance, is everyone just keeps talking about an RP like increase. So at what point is it going to be too much? When you get one from your guild, when you get one from your realm? You know, I mean, we got to think of something else besides just throwing RPs at people. At the end of the day, it's pretty easy to get RPs now, let alone with buffs on top of that.
I think that's why some of the other stuff is not the realm point bonuses. It's, you know, titles and knickknacks and statues and stuff that people might enjoy rather than just realm point bonuses all the time. Okay, now I did something on my Twitch that made my chat teeny tiny. What did I do? Oh no. I did. Look at you, you fixed that for me because I made my control button my push to talk. Thank you. Oh, you saved me. Okay, let me go down my list here. Okay, here's one. The Battlegrounds. What's your favorite BG and why?
The one I had the most fun in was Thidranki. That's the one I had the most fun in.
That's what I was wondering. Is that the one is that the question you're asking?
It is. It is. So why did you like Thid? What was great about that?
Nobody had fancy tools. It was all just cut down to the, you know, the level sort of 20 skills and weapons and things like that. There was no MLs. There was no fancy procs or anything like that. It was just good old-fashioned in-your-face smackdown.
I found in the BGs, I have, believe it or not, Hibs stealthers in Molvik. And I just love playing Hibs stealthers in Molvik. It's just tons of fun. You go out, you shoot people, you die, you come back, and you go do it again. And I'm not sure why Molvik was my favorite. It just was, or is, so much fun.
That's why I like it so much whenever we do Molvik for our Monday Night Madness. Molvik is the one I like the best.
Yeah, but you know what happens when we go in there with 3 groups? We kind of wipe it out.
Yeah.
Although when we did it against each other, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, when we made sure that we had people in all three realms, that kind of evened it out, made it much better.
Yeah, that was good. So when they do the BGs for the events where you can take a level 50 in, which is the favorite one for that?
That last one for with the bunny. Sorry, I stepped over you then.
Go ahead.
That last one with the bunny was, is it Kilo? I don't know how you pronounce it. That was not good at all because the keep situation wasn't dealt with very well at the start. And so I think Carol came in one evening and she made it a broken keep. You know, there needs to be a little bit more thought about that.
Yeah, I think that one just got stuck or something. We couldn't claim it, could we? Or we couldn't get it to change realms. Is that what happened, or what happened there again? I remember that, but
yeah,
I couldn't remember the details.
The Hibs side of things were entrenched in the keep, and you just couldn't get them out because once you break down the doors are easy enough to break down, but once you broke them down, you just couldn't get the Hibs out of it. And I think the only way they got round it was Carol got the devs to change it into a broken keep, and then it could change hands a little bit more so people could get the bunny quest done. But that wasn't fun at all. But as far as the overall zone goes, that was okay.
Yeah, I think I like the design of that one. Not a big fan of the water, but you can really get people trapped in the water in there.
I'm not a fan of any of the BG events, to be quite honest with you. It doesn't matter the BG, it just shoves way too many people in such a small area. And I know a bunch of other people, all, you know, that play the game, are hoping that they try to come up with something new instead of recycling the BG's events.
I especially hated disliked the bunny quest being in there this year, and then being so difficult to get done out in the frontiers after that was over. I did not get it done on any tune at all. It was just...
It was kind of like a frog in a blender.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah, a frog in a blender. Ew.
As someone else said, I don't know if the BG events are really prepared well. You know, or at least thought through. He was saying that, you know, the keep was broken and you know, other issues.
They should.
Yeah,
they might possibly make, when they turn the quest on or the event on, the keep should be unclaimed so that it's not already camped.
Oh yeah. Was it claimed though?
No, it wasn't claimed. It was just...
I meant it should not be, you know, it shouldn't belong to anyone.
Oh, okay. Okay. I guess we're going to slowly wrap it up. I've got one more question I'm going to ask. Actually, 1.5 questions. Just let me grab the one. Agramon Island. This is one that I've seen come up a few times. What do you guys think of Agramon Island, and would you change it if you could? And if you could change it, how would you change it? And I'll throw out there something that, this was not my idea, but I saw it on a post. Somebody suggested there would be a keep in the middle of Agramon Island that could have some kind of effect on either relic gates or Darkness Falls or something like that. What do you guys think?
Flatten it out, throw a bowl over it, and call it the arena. The keep sounds good.
I like the wall idea, and then it could be like something, you know, the old gladiator things, and we can all sit around the outsides and do thumbs up and thumbs down.
Well, I think the fact that they put the towers in there is just phenomenal. I think that
dislike them.
single-handedly fix the game a whole lot.
I don't care for the fact that they took away labby entrances there. I mean, the labyrinth to me has been effectively gutted by not having entrances there and being so difficult for a lot of people to get to. It just needs to have something going on again. The labyrinth just needs to get rejuvenated. It needs a jump start.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Lab. What did happen to Lab? Because that still was really popular.
The New Frontiers patches, where they took
out
the entrances and just changed the way you got in there and everything.
Yeah, the dueling thing in Lab is, I can never quite wrap my brain around that. You know, I'll always end up killing the wrong person, and you get yelled at, and I don't want to get yelled at. So, but I'm surprised that it. Yeah, Labby, I liked running around in there because I think it reminded me of, not reminded me, but it was that quick action. You know, you get back to it. I think with the NF patch, the boats are much faster. I think the ports on Agramon, they're easy enough to take, and you can get around the frontier a lot faster. I quite like the way NF is. I miss Benno, like I miss our main keeps, because they were such a huge part. But I do think that for the stealth community, I think the broken keeps and broken towers are really good. I think it makes a big difference for them.
I think logging into... Go ahead.
It makes it hard to predict where the action will be, especially with there's so many other ports in the New Frontiers. You know, you don't know if they're porting to the tower, or if they're porting to the Ruined Keep, or if they're porting to the other Ruined Keep that they just took. So action gets really, really spread out, and you spend more time looking for action sometimes than you can find it, because there's just so many ways to get around an NF. And that's a pretty big problem, at least that I find when you play not prime time, later night. You know, it's really, really rough sometimes.
See, I had never thought of that, because I see it from a BG perspective, and for a large number of people, those ports are just a godsend, because as we're traveling along, we're taking things, and people that are not with us, people that just logged in, people that died and need to catch up, it kind of gives them a place to go to as we're passing by, and we don't have to keep going back, and they're not getting you know, solos that are getting ganked by an 8-man as they're trying to get 3 feet out. I think you guys play like 5-man, 8-man. Would you not be able to to see what's being taken and know that that's where you want to go. So, for instance, if we take the Agramon Tower, you guys know that we just took that. You could port to your tower and kind of intercept us, no?
It's not that easy at all. Also, with as far as the BG porting, didn't the boats help you guys a lot with that? I mean, the boats being faster and dropping off. No, not at all.
No. Here's what you have to envision. When you have between 50 and I'll say between 50 and 100 people trying to get boats, we don't all fit on one boat. We don't get on the boats organized, so what happens is people just click on the boat and off goes the first boat, and so on until everybody's on all the boats. So half your group is on one boat and the other half's on another boat, and boats are not great for moving Zergs. They are literally our last resort. Even when we try and assign groups to get on them, which we sometimes do, like we'll say this group, that group, somebody inevitably gets on it and then there's no room for the other guys, so they really don't help. I'm just curious, because I run 99.9% BG, why is it, I understand when there's not a BG out and stuff and there's a ton of ports, you don't know what's going on. What could be better to make you guys be able to find action for smaller groups?
Cut ports.
As long as they didn't
absolutely.
go slower because one person was on them. I mean, if they went at the same speed, that would help.
Yeah, I think bigger capacity would be a great idea. Then we could all jump on a boat and off we go. You know, we've for fun, we've tried, you know, throwing up big warships and stuff, but of course those are terrible because you can be killed on them. But if the actual boats were bigger, I can't see that being a problem. I never even thought of that. See, that's another thing I never thought of. Yeah, because the problem is we can't get the people on the boat, and then our whole BG is strung out across the entire frontier. And then, you know, the 3 guys that lagged off the boat, now we got to wait for them to come, and we got problems.
And the first half of your group was on the first boat, and you're on the second group, or second boat, and your first bunch get killed before the second boat gets there. It's really a logistical terrible thing.
Well, I was commenting because you said the towers really help people catch up, is what you were saying. And with the boats being faster, that seems like 1 or 2, 3 people could take a boat just as fast, or close to as fast as porting.
That never works out. It honestly doesn't. You know, if we're going somewhere, we could end up changing at a moment's notice, and now these poor people are on a boat to the mid-coast, and we've gone, oh, we're going to go to Hib now. And the best thing for a battle group is for all of us to be together the best way we can. So when we're porting somewhere, we wait for everybody to go stand by a bindstone, and we go, okay, all port to Agramon, and we all port at the same time. Then, you know, we decide where we're going to go, and we open another port, and we go, okay, for the folks that are still standing at Burke, you need to now port to Bled. And that's how we move around, because we're dragging around a lot of people. We're taking a lot of people where we're going, and it's very difficult for 1 or 2 people to get there. And though many people are used to traveling in our big herd, and they are not great at getting somewhere on their own.
No, I understand. I was just asking if that was a feasible thing.
A good idea.
I missed that. What'd
typed
Keili say?
Oh, Kreider typed something on the Twitch screen there about group boat tickets, and it just automatically throws you on a boat, like you get put on a horse, and it puts your group on the boat, and off you go.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Like when you buy a boat, you know, I mean, a horse ticket now, and it just automatically puts you on the horse.
I've got that whole. Go ahead.
Oh, so if let's say if the ports were gone off Agramon, that would severely affect the way the BG could move then.
Yeah, it would be a huge problem.
How did you guys do it before the ports?
We ran. But they changed Benno, right? Like now Benno gets taken back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So Benno, you know, used to be where we would start from, but now it's Burke. So like it goes Burke, Benno, Alba, Agramon. It didn't work out well when those ports were not there.
Gotcha.
And at the same time, you know, what could be done for you guys that would make it better in the evening when there is a lower population? Like what kind of things could be done to make it where you guys can find action?
I've already suggested that on the internal forums and on post count. The tree hammer and cup would probably help a lot.
It would be awesome.
I've done a couple threads on post count and a couple threads, so I think they're just waiting on the devs at this point, but you know, I think that would be a big help to people who play in non-prime time hours.
I always liked seeing those anyway. You knew exactly where to head.
Exactly. Or at least it would give you a general area, so if you see a cup circling, you know, Burke, or not Burke, but let's say Boldium circling the towers, you know they're generally in that area. It's an easier way to spot action versus just randomly going somewhere and hoping there's action.
Well, I think that would be good. I mean, you know, you kind of have to balance the, like if it's tree hammer cup, then it's fair for everybody. You can see where everybody is. You always have to balance, you know, finding people to play with having an advantage of knowing where people are. So you want to, if it's all three, then I think that's great. Now, when you're describing tree hammer cup, is that where there's a fight or where there's people in that realm running around?
People in that realm. Like, I don't know if maybe you didn't play back when this was actually in the game, but let's say if I ran my group back past Benno Tower, you know, there would be a delay of some sort, but a little, you know, hammer would pop up saying on the map saying that basically I was there at some point recently.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So this
wouldn't have a
was
problem
already
with
in
that.
the game at one point.
You were here, Luvly. You've been here forever.
I've been here forever, but I probably wasn't in NF at the time. I was probably hiding in PvE. Okay, so my last thing I'm going to bring up, and this is kind of a little walk down memory lane. Maybe each of us could just say, as we're winding this up, what your favorite thing was when you first started playing Dark Age. I don't know why this is for me, but I just always remember camping at the Boulderlings, because that was kind of where everybody was, and you know, you already had a few levels under your belt, and we would stand, they would have people standing at the big rock there that would buff us, and it was like a gift from God to get buffs from a level 20. And then we would go farm those little rock people day in, day out. I love doing that. So we'll go down. Actually, I'll let you guys, when you think of one, say something.
I used to sit in Galplin on Saturday mornings when I was about level 20 and buff newbies and hand them 5 gold each. and I actually had I was on Nimu, and there was a guy who actually wrote a very nice role-playing story about China, the troll, who did that on Saturday mornings in Galplin.
Oh, isn't that cool?
We used to have
Okay.
such good role-play stories on the boards and stuff that have been lost.
You know what people in old frontiers did too? They would load up their tune with crafting, and they would go to the Hib Mile Gate and sit there waiting for somebody to come through the gate. And that's how they would spend all their time crafting and chatting and waiting for some unsuspecting soul to come through the gate. Okay, who else has one? I'm reading the ones in the chat.
What I've gotten the most satisfaction out of, especially as a GM, is welcoming players back to the game that have left for a while and come back, and been able to introduce them, give them tours of the new Camelot, the new NF, being able to help them see how the game has evolved and changed. That's been the most satisfying, and our guild has become a guild for the returning players, and it's just been a whole lot of fun.
And that's wonderful that people are being introduced to the game, or people that have been away for a long time are being reintroduced. I'm just amazed. I've seen two of my guildies, one I've raised from a pup, and he started playing. He's not in my guild, but he ran with us. He started when he was 13, and he's all grown up now. It's like, it's kind of my Mother's Day thing since I don't have kids. Okay, who else?
For me, the first time, this was when I was playing in European servers, I think I got to about level 18, and the guild I was in had a call to arms because Excalibur was under attack. And I remember going on this relic raid. It became a lag fest, but just there was just so many people and so much going on. So that's a memory that sticks with me. And the second one is the first time when Catacombs came out, and I went onto Hib, and I went into the Rift Vale Rift for the first time. That's got to be one of the most beautiful zones I think I've seen in the game.
It is.
And do you guys remember the early morning raids where you actually set an alarm to crawl out of bed at 3 in the morning to go take a relic?
I do.
My husband thought I was insane. Like, who does that to go play a video game? But it's like, no, we need to get the relics.
Either that or you just didn't go to bed. You just kind of hung around waiting for things to get started.
Oh, there's one, Clifton and cliff diving. Remember when the bugs first came out and you ride those bugs everywhere? I thought that was just the coolest thing, that you could fly. Okay, anybody else have any, or?
The wee wolves, someone already mentioned it in chat, but those things were awesome. The farm and fighting the crabs and
Those are nasty little things.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at Shailesh, the telephone chains for relic invasions. That's hilarious. Now it's text chains, right? We've come a long way. 6 months to get a tune. Do you know, when I was getting my first level 50, it was in DF, and it was on the shredders. And do you remember when you died, you would lose XP? And I needed like 3 more shredders, and I died. I actually cried real tears. And I was so mad at my group because they let me die and I lost XP, and I was so close to 50.
I remember getting killed by enemies in DF for the first time, and I'm going like, how did that happen? What was that? How did they get in here? It was just, I was so young, I didn't know they could be in there.
That's hilarious.
At that point,
Okay,
I
well,
had never seen an enemy.
I want to thank all the people that joined me in Vent today. Keili, Andam, Agro, China, Iramir, Sax, I could not have done this without you guys. You guys did great, and was running the whole video for us. So, and everybody, we had as many as 60 people watching this Twitch tonight. So that's pretty awesome. And all the comments and everything, guys. People came up with some really amazing ideas. I know I wasn't reading them aloud, but I was watching them go by. So thank you everybody for your input, and we will see you on the next night's podcast. Good night, guys.
It was fun.